Advancements in technology, shifting markets, and the gig economy are changing the nature of work. With this in mind, Harvard Business School Executive Education is launching a new program on managing the future of work. Based on the latest research into the forces reshaping workforce demographics, this program is designed to help employers remain competitive by thinking strategically about today's evolving business landscape. Learn more at hbs.me/future. That's hbs.me/future.
Hi, I'm stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Erin Klein.
And this is Not Your Demographic, a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, those exist.
Happy birthday to Birdie Bella. Happy birthday to Birdie Bella. Happy birthday to Birdie Bella. Happy birthday to the most beautiful, perfect, wonderful baby of all time, Birdie Bella.
Thanks.
It's her 1 year anniversary. Well, it's her
It's
birthday.
1 year anniversary of her life.
It's the 1 year anniversary of Birdie B coming into all of our lives.
If anybody somehow knows Birdie Bella, just tell her we did that and don't actually have her listen to it.
Yeah, I'm not a great singer. Also, Happy Birthday is a hard song to sing.
Happy Birthday is such a weird key. It's like that and the national anthem are like really wide range songs, but they're also whack as hell to sing.
Whack as hell. Anyways, Birdie turned 1 today, which was Wednesday, because that's when we record. You're listening on Friday or sometime in the future, but she is 1 year old. I don't know. It's important news for me.
Yep.
Other than that, how are you?
Oh, God. That was a very long week in both in wrestling and in real life.
But there were good things.
There were good things in wrestling and in real life as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Free Comic Book Day was awesome.
Free Comic Book Day was awesome. It was me in a bodysuit for like 7+ hours, but
Me in a fucking huge wig for 7+ hours in the heat.
in the heat. Yeah, we actually had a really sunny day out, so there were some tragic sunburn incidents.
Well, I didn't get as bad of a sunburn. I have little Psylocke armbands. But I did use sunscreen, so they're not that bad. So we won't have a recreation of the Harley neckline. I thought it was really fun.
No, it was really fun. Yeah.
Lots of kids as usual, but we did our regular shenanigans. You handed comic books to people on bicycles, and
Bicycles
I yelled
and
at people in cars.
I yelled at people who yelled at you from cars.
Yes.
Random kids hugged me. There's just like a bunch of people out there who have pictures of us now that have no idea who we are.
Including AJ Lee.
Including AJ Lee, yeah.
She posted that photo today. I was like, just went to my high school reunion. And it's just all of us in costumes.
That was fun.
Yeah.
They were both cool enough to like stop by.
Well, it's really funny because earlier in the day, me and one of the other people who work at Challengers were talking about CM Punk for some reason. And she was like, he's so grumpy and mean when he comes in. I don't like him. And I was like, yeah, he's not very nice when he comes in. Yep. And then he came in that day and I was like, it's like we conjured him. But I even said, we both were like, his wife is so nice. And that's exactly the experience we had.
It was absolutely the experience that they had. But, they could have showed up at any time, but they showed up during Free Comic Book Day where other people were around, and that was cool. Yeah. But it was also probably of AJ's doing, and definitely not his.
Well, it was still fun.
Yes.
Chicago wrestling, blah. I'm a Dracula.
That was great. That was great.
I had a long week because after Free Comic Book Day, which was really fun, I went to my car and realized that I left the blinkers on or the flashers on from parking, and it was super dead. So I had to call a jump and then go get a new battery. But thankfully I changed out of my Psylocke costume, but I was in my purple wig and my drag that had been in the sun for 7 hours, and then a little crop shirt and my Seth Rollins sweatpants.
Holy shit.
And I was like, hey, can you jump my car?
Was everyone gone? Did you try to get back in the store? Was everyone gone?
No, and we have AAA, so I was just like, come jump my car, and then I will go buy a battery. So I had to drop a bunch of money after Free Comic Book Day. After I worked for my comic books and then spent more money on comic books. But
yeah, that was a pretty impressive stack that you left with.
Oh my God, that was nothing. He said the total and I was like, oh, this is not that bad. Well, here you can see my piles.
My piles.
These are the regular Marvels. Then there's an X-Men pile. And then there's an Independence pile and a DC pile. So we kind of were talking, we're both a little wrestling fatigued. And part of the reason I'm wrestling fatigued is because I am more into my comic books this week. And honestly, I can't do them both at the same time. It's really hard to consume that much at the same time. And like it's part of the reason sometimes I get so behind is because I'm doing like school and wrestling and things. But then this week, Backlash put such a shitty taste in my mouth that I had all these comic books. I was like, I'm just going to read my comic books. I read the first trade of Lock and Key, which everyone's probably like, oh, how can you have been a Valkyrie at a comic book store and not have read Lock and Key? Well, you know what? Fuck you. I don't know. It's hard to read everything. So I finally started reading it.
Absolutely. I find it difficult to read a lot of books when I am kind of ebbing into a lot of video games. So like that's like they take up the same space in my brain.
It's hard to have multiple fandoms running at the same time on such a high level.
Absolutely. And like even doing the show, and I'm not like trying to make you feel better or whatever, but like watching that much WWE, like I'm not watching other wrestling right now, which totally leads to my fatigue as well, because I'm used to like kind of
fun wrestling
and indie wrestling. And like I haven't picked up progress in a week or so. I haven't karate chopped a table while recording a podcast on it in the last 5 seconds. But yeah, it's definitely led to some wrestling fatigue.
Yeah, it's weird because I usually am okay. But man, Backlash just made me not want to watch any wrestling. Full disclosure, I did not watch NXT this week, which was before Backlash, so I don't have an excuse. And I also didn't watch 205 Live. I'm going to watch them both. Everybody calm down. Yeah. It's just hard. And I wanted to read Lock and Key.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely, like we were talking about, definitely check out 205, because there was a really fun match, an okay match, and then one of the best matches I saw this week.
Which was Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy is like, what a shocker. Because he was fun when he was in the tag team with Alexa and Cowboy.
Yeah, but when they were the Wub Wub Cowboys, like they were...
Yeah, but I still enjoyed
like twins, them. Right? They were twins that sounded nothing alike, but I liked them in the ring.
Right.
They didn't talk much. That's what Alexa was there for. He's good in promo. They're teasing him and Tony Nese being buddies. And he's great in the ring. He tells a great story. He's working with everyone very well. Yeah.
Well, I think it was the other week that it was him and Kalisto that was so good. Mm-hmm. He's been putting on really rock solid matches. I'm really excited. He has to get the belt.
At some point he has to get the belt, but at some point so does Mustafa.
Right, but I mean, I think that's part of the reason they took away his number one contendership, because they were like, oh, he's going to be a champion. We have to build it so people will hate to love him because he is going to be a good champion.
Yeah, definitely.
Theoretically, I don't know. They probably just fucked it up because they're WWE. I give them a lot of credit.
We still have no idea. I mean, maybe Buddy legit just like had a cheeseburger craving on his way to the performance center, and that's why he fucked his way in. They don't
do real weigh-ins.
Yes.
Those are pretend weigh-ins.
Oh, what?
It's all not real?
What?
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 It's still real to me.
What?
What wrestling shirt are you wearing?
I am wearing my old crazy Kaiju Big Battle Dr. Cube's Minions t-shirt that is annoyingly green. Check out Weird Wrestling. Check out Weird Indie Wrestling. Kaiju Big Battle is one of the biggest and best parties and like the most goofiest thing ever. If you're anywhere close to like a wrestling purist or whatever, Kaiju Big Battle is the exact opposite of what you want to watch, because it's people in really well-made monster costumes battling in a city with shrunken down buildings in it and like the most ridiculous comic book Saturday morning cartoon storylines.
Dr. Cube?
Dr. Cube has been one of their main villains, and like that cube is literally what he wears on his head.
I love it.
So he's like Dr. Cube, but like underneath his face is super disfigured, but he's one of the people that are making these horrible monsters. And then there are a bunch of superhero monsters, and Kota Ibushi's done matches with them. Chris Hero's done matches with them, like as themselves fighting these ridiculous monsters.
Kaiju Big Battle.
Kaiju Big Battle. Check it out.
Nice. I will. It is an annoyingly green shirt.
Yes. Yeah. I have to go to a burlesque show right after this, and I only thought about that on the car ride over here.
What? Which burlesque show?
Bad Taste runs at Charnel House.
Oh, that's right. You invited me. That I just, am a person who wakes up very early from wrestling and from school and from this and from that. And
that's fine. I'm not going to pressure you. What wrestling shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing my legit boss Sasha Banks tank top that looks like it's the front of a car. The reason I'm wearing this is twofold. One, I wanted to wear it because I think that Sasha and Bailey and the Riot Squad and that it's not. I guess it is a trifecta because Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan have not been actually in matches, but those three have been putting on really good matches. Like for Backlash, Bailey and Ruby Riott, the pre-show was one of the best matches of the night. So
that's okay. So when we're talking about Backlash, the problem was the pre-show match was awesome. The first match was
incredible,
amazing,
and then it just sloped hardcore. I did enjoy Carmella and Charlotte.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the storytelling and the character work. Was it the most technically beautiful match? No, but that match at least served a purpose, whereas the other matches were just shit.
I think you're going to have this problem going forward with all of the dual-branded pay-per-views where there were so many storylines and wrestlers and other people that got left off of the show because you're trying to put on a show that should be 4 hours long to wrap up all these storylines that have been running. That you're going to leave the majority of your women's division, a lot of your undercard people, all of the cruiserweights, all of these people were nowhere on that pay-per-view.
I was shocked that there weren't 2 pre-show matches. I thought for sure they would have done a cruiserweight thing, but I guess not. Okay, but so that's one reason that I'm wearing this shirt. The other one is I have an identical cut and color of the shirt, but it's got Bailey's catchphrase on it, and it says, "I'm a hugger." And it's been really hot in Chicago this week, so I was like, oh, tank tops, great. And this one doesn't come super low and flash my titties and stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll wear my Bailey one. It's fine. I don't ever really wear that one in public because it says in bright yellow letters, "I'm a hugger." And the amount of people who made comments about it all day, annoyed the fuck out of me. I kept being like, it's a wrestler. She hugs people and then body slams them. And then just stared at people. People would just walk by and be like, "Oh, I'm a hugger." Huh. And I'd be like, I can hear you. Don't comment upon my outfit. And some people were like, "Oh, I really like that." Because, I work with kids and I was in a preschool and "Oh, I like that. I'm a hugger shirt." And I was like, it's to body slam people. She hugs people and body slams them. Stop.
She's really super tough. And
she's tough. I'm tough.
Don't
hug me. No one tried to hug me.
Okay, well, that's more than I would actually expect out of humanity. So,
but it was just it was just annoying wearing the shirt. It was so annoying.
Any shirt with words on it, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, there words on shirts."
And they're so big, and there's no other context. It doesn't it says Bailey, but really tiny, and it doesn't look like if.
That person likes hugging and booze in their coffee. I know so much about them just from this t-shirt.
Bailey's. It's not like the new iconic shirt, which is news. They finally have a shirt. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I am going to buy it. That shirt looks like it's a brand of something. It does say Iconics, but it looks like it's a like a brand logo. Or a brand. Yeah. The "I'm a hugger" shirt just says "I'm a hugger" really big.
It could be
it could be anything.
I mean, it is, but it could be just some Walmart truck stop t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
I just won't be wearing it in public at a non-wrestling event where people will get it ever again.
Ever again. We learned an important lesson.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate. It's like a flattering cut of a tank top.
Yeah. And it looks super comfortable and everything too, but yeah.
I can't with it. Because that time nobody tried to hug me, but people were real chatty about it. And me and Erin have talked about it before. I can't wear an "I'm a hugger" shirt. I'm like, well, I have a mean enough face. I guess I don't have a mean enough face for people to not talk to me about it.
You should find a wrestler and have them commission a t-shirt in that exact font, except it says "I'm an asshole." So everyone that reads it out loud, you could be like, yeah, you are. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are. Yeah.
We just started watching The Good Place, me and Nick. We started watching it last night.
I love it so much.
It's really cute. My ethics teacher showed a clip of it in class because she is a ethics teacher.
Yes.
So it was corresponding. It was the trolley problem. People were into ethics, whatever. So she showed a clip of that, and I was watching it, and I've heard tons of people talk about how good it was, and I was like, this is cute. I want to watch it. So we watched 4 episodes.
It is delicious popcorn television, and it moves so quickly.
Speaking of catchphrases, I can't stop thinking about him saying Budhole. Come to my Budhole. And then everyone goes, oh, Budhole. I feel like we're in my butthole right now.
Yeah. Actually, if there is a strange echo effect, it's because it's very clean in Stella's butthole today.
Oh my God, it is not clean in this butthole.
I'm trying to put you over. No one knows.
I mean, the house is clean. I don't know if you saw that. I did clean the house, but this butthole is not clean.
There's your title.
We did it. 15 minutes in, we did it.
Hell yeah. News. Wrestling isn't real. No.
Evergreen news.
Evergreen news.
Birdie is won. The Iconics have a shirt. USA is probably going to maintain control over or have their partnership with WWE, and it's not going to be Fox. I heard that rumor. Heard a lot of rumors about ladies that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about none of that.
We'll skip all of that.
Fantastic.
Things I do want to talk about. So Total Bellas, we talked about how it's coming back. I didn't realize it's coming back on a Sunday. That is two things. There are pay-per-views on Sundays.
Yeah.
And also, our Total Bellas talk will be timely for once. Because we usually record when it's
going to fit into your recording cycle. That's awesome.
So we'll no longer be late. 1 week late. We'll have timely Total Bellas talk. Also, Total Divas got renewed for 2 more seasons. So, more Lana drama. I hope the Iconics come on that show.
I hope the Iconics host WrestleMania and a talk show and get their own WWE show and like get all of the money and all of the attention.
Side note, if you are interested in the original Iconics shirt that they made for themselves and are okay with bootleg stuff, I did find one of them on Etsy, so you can get the right shirt.
Get the right shirt.
But if you get the right shirt, you also have to buy the one from WWE so they get money.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. Because Billy and Peyton need your support as well.
Yes.
Like, that shit gets
So if
monitored.
you're going to buy bootleg merch because it's cuter, you still have to buy merch from the actual person. That goes for drag queens. That goes for everything, okay? I'm just saying. Bootleg merch is sometimes better, but you have to make your reciprocity. So those are the rules that I've just made.
But please support the Iconics.
Yeah. In everything that you do.
In everything that you do and that they do.
That's kind of all I had for news.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, Matt Cross is in All In.
Yeah. Matt Cross is in All, which only makes sense considering that he's a Midwest mainstay and
that beard.
And that beard.
And he's so nice. And he makes such comfy clothing.
Yes.
I just want the best for him.
Happy for him. The more and more talent they release for that show, the more and more everyone's getting excited about it.
Do you have any other news?
Lucha Underground released an extended trailer for its next season.
I haven't seen it yet.
I know. The next season starts June 13th.
I did know that.
Actually a real thing that's going to happen. It looks really crazy and really exciting and really overblown soap opera. I mean, like, the end of that last season was bonkers.
It's going to be interesting to see how Impact handles their partnership with Lucha while Lucha is on the air.
Absolutely. I know we got into it either last week or a couple weeks ago or Time is a Flat Circle, and I have no concept of it, about how Lucha Underground in like even just the realm of professional wrestling is treated like this alternate reality place where the things in
magical realism
only really happen there. And I think they can get away with kind of just not saying anything about it and everyone knowing that Lucha Underground is taped like a TV show away from everything else and released slowly after that.
I hope so. I hope they don't fuck it up.
I hope they don't fuck it up.
Okay, before we launch into this week's wrestling, so you did send me some more Joshi stuff.
Yeah, while you were sick.
Yes, while I was sick. I only actually got to one of them because they are all really long, which I appreciate, but it is like you watch 3 Joshi matches and it's like an hour and a half. Yep. The one that I watched because I had just watched the Mako match, I watched, I don't know how to, can you say her name?
Mako Satomura?
No, the other one.
Who was the other one? Oh, her,
Toyota?
Manami Toyota.
Manami. Okay.
Yeah.
So I watched Manami Toyota versus
Mako Satomura.
Sorry, I just don't want to be disrespectful.
No, it's great. Yeah, I sent you a match of theirs from like
a while ago.
More than 20 years ago.
It was awesome though.
Yes.
You wrote in the description, Her entrance dress is everything. It was from 2003, by the way.
What was the promotion? Was it Gaia?
No, it says, yeah. It says
oh, cool.
2003.
Yeah, that's 2003 if it was from Gaia. Yeah, Meiko comes out looking a lot like Meiko.
Yeah, she's very traditional, like, Japanese fighting outfit.
Manami Toyota.
Really pretty, though. Like a pretty purple and then, like, a black and white pattern on the bottom half. Looks great.
And her underneath gear, like, her wrestling gear was really nice, too.
Her underneath gear, I thought, personally, was better than Toyota's. Mm-hmm. But Toyota's robe was, like, Queen Amidala's shit.
If you've seen what Manami Toyota wears, especially further on in her career for like big shows, they're actual legit fashion show dresses that she would wear to the ring.
It's amazing.
And then would get in the ring, and so like you see a performer come out in that, and you think, oh well, you know they're going to be more glamorous, they're a bigger kicker. No, it's Manami Toyota. She actually is just like a full on shit kicker.
So I don't know the context, obviously, because I don't speak Japanese, but this, in a way that the Io Meiko match last time felt like a match of like respect and one-upsmanship, and we're the best at both of our companies, and like they didn't pull any punches and they were super brutal, but there was like this underlying respect. There was like visceral hatred in this match. It was intense. I'm surprised either of them have necks or faces after this match. Like they kicked each other in the face so much and so hard, and then continuously dropped each other on their necks. Yeah. So many times.
Yeah, those really, really, like, the stiffer kicks and...
To the face.
To the face, and, like, all of the suplexes and everything that are very neck-focused, they're less like suplexes and more like drops.
Right.
Are intense, especially from that era of Joshi.
Also, I was just thinking, like, I mean, I know it's a different era, but, you know, Io had that contract and it got pulled because of her neck, and I was like, yeah. Right. If this is what it's always like, then yeah, I'm surprised any of them have necks.
And that's
where did their necks go?
Well, and that's why, like, you see in the independents around that time and like through 2010, a bunch of those guys go really hard in companies like Ring of Honor and PWG and IWA. Like that bled from that Japanese style, that strong style, and the pushers of that strong style were a lot of the women.
The things that I liked in this match, I really liked how loud Toyota was. I mean, that's the thing that I always talk about, how I like really loud wrestlers. Like, that's part of the reason I like Xavier Woods, is he's always just been, like, really loud. But she was just, like, battle screaming from the beginning. She just went to hit her, like, a couple, like quick hits, and it was just like, ah! So much. There was one, like, sequence where Toyota was down, and Meiko gets in the corner and goes to do some kind of move, some kind of jump onto her. And instead of doing, like, the knees up, Toyota literally just, like, kicks her out of the air. Like Meiko, it almost looked like Meiko was, like, landing in that thing that kids do with, like, their parents, so they're, like, Superman, and then just got launched back. And then immediately... So Meiko's on the ground, and Toyota goes up to do moonsault, which she does so fast. She literally just, like, climbs up and goes. Yeah. And then she gets kicked out of the air. I was like, oh, my God, this is like a tit for tat, and it was amazing. Things that, after watching those two Meiko matches back-to-back that I really like, I love how she uses other people's bodies, like, against them. Like, how she uses them as, like, a step up to get more height to kick. It's not just, like, a manipulation of the body. It's, like... I'm using your body to make the next move I do more impactful, which is super dope. Yep.
And works really well because, you know, as you can imagine, Meiko Satomura is the Fight Club Pro champion
she's amazing
right now. So she fights a lot of men too. So she gets booked in a lot of those matches where people are bigger than her. But wrestling like that and moving like that makes all of that so much more, whatever, believable. But it makes it more interesting to watch.
Speaking of, like, wrestling with men and, like, being bigger and stronger, right up top, Toyota does, like, you know, it's the move that Goldberg does and Lashley does where, like, you know, the jackhammer, or where you're just, like, holding them up into the air for a really long time and then planting them. She just does it. Yep. And it's, like, nothing. And then later in the match, Meiko does, like, an F5 and it's, like, nothing. It's just, like, yeah, these might be your power moves, but these are just moves that we do. And they're, like, not a big deal because we're so good.
And we were doing them before you were.
Right. Yeah, you stole these moves from us and we're better at them, and you made them these big deals when it's like, this is a transition move for us because our actual finishers are so dope and cool that you could never dream of doing them.
Or they are a series of stick kicks to the face.
To the face. To the face.
Yeah.
There was also one spot that Toyota did. So Mako is on the outside, and Toyota, you know, in wrestling, people jump to the other outside the ring. You know, Cedric will do the like almost like he's diving and then does the flip, or
yeah, you know, Cedric will do like the tope over the top rope.
Right, or you know,
Sasha did that really awesome like flip over the
turnbuckle
so to the floor this week.
So it's usually like it seems like you're landing on them, or there's some like impact breaker. Toyota literally just jumped out of the ring and kicked her, but then had as much like as far to fall, way farther than her. So it's like, I'm going to kick you because I hate you, but I'm also going to destroy my body. And it wasn't like a slide under. It was like the top rope and just like flew out and was like, I'm going to kick you. And oh my God, my back. Which I'm sure I've seen that before, but it was just an interesting way to throw yourself out of the ring.
Yes.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I like these matches that you're sending me.
Yeah, I'll keep sending you stuff.
I will link this too. I forgot to link the Mako IO match. EO.
I can find that. I think the
only
I
don't know.
We can tweet out the website where that's at. I think the only like full streaming link is on some weird Russian YouTube.
Right, but
site.
we can at least put the date out or something. But
Absolutely.
This one is on YouTube, so I can definitely link it out. So Manami Toyota doesn't wrestle anymore, right?
She retired by wrestling. So a lot of Japanese wrestlers, when they retire, they don't like come out and make a big speech. They have an event based around their retirement. And Manami Toyota had like 100 consecutive 1-minute matches for her retirement. And she wrestled.
Has she ever come out of it?
Men and women. This was just recently.
Oh.
Manami Toyota just retired a few months ago.
I want to see this minute by minute
I'll
match.
send it to you. I marked out on Twitter about it the day she was doing it. I forget. It was a few months ago, but yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah, so she just recently retired.
Is it all Japanese people that she wrestled?
For the most part.
Yeah.
I think there were some American women in there, but yeah, it was for the most part other people that she's wrestled, other legends, and then a couple of people that she's like trained and had a hand in. But up until that point, like.
So you should beat 99 of them and then one person.
A lot of them are draws and a lot of them are like quick, like they're all short time limit matches.
Right. That's cool.
But she was just in Chikara a few years ago.
I'm
kept
into
wrestling.
It.
Yeah.
I mean, just from this match, I am more drawn to Mako.
Mm-hmm.
Like her style and her intensity, and I want to see more matches with her. And I guess it's interesting that she's still wrestling. So like, not, you know, I guess Toyota was just wrestling, and there's obviously tons of stuff. I don't know. I enjoyed it. So you should watch this when I link it because it's intense. These women are scary.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting too, considering how well women from Japan, specifically women from Japan, have done when they do cross over to WWE. Aja was in WWE and like people loved her and she did really well. Like people are still signing up to see her. Asuka is like killing it. Kairi is killing it. Like I think there's something intangible about Japanese women wrestlers, and in a way that WWE has done with a lot of things, they haven't oversaturated or spoiled it. They seem, whether they realize that they're doing that or not, they seem to only have a few at a time or one at a time, and it makes the allure and the excitement way more, and which works in the favor of the people they're bringing in for sure. Obviously, it's not great for a bunch of people that aren't making the same amount of money, though I don't know how they get paid, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just saying it is cool that there is that like magical allure of like Joshi wrestling is the wrestling that only the cool kids know.
Or that like everyone says that they know and like are aware of, and like, oh yeah, I mean Kana's gonna be Asuka and she's gonna be this ass kicker. There's just that air on it, even with people who haven't seen it before, which is really interesting that kind of translates through.
Right. And I mean, I don't know because my old timey wrestling is not really up to speed, but it seems like these Japanese women that they've brought in have like done really well for themselves and haven't necessarily succumb to like the soul crushing WWE like women's lens, and they still can maintain the Joshi attitude, I guess, almost.
I remember there was kind of a worry when they brought in Asuka and Nakamura around the same time.
Right.
Of just like, oh, well, they're going to be so much the same. And
But conversely, like, he has been kind of ruined, and she hasn't.
He's had to change and adapt a lot more than she has
Right.
so far, which is really interesting to me.
It feels like, honestly, his stuff in NXT was really good, but only now on the main roster is he even starting to be capital N Nakamura, whereas, like, Asuka just was like, hey, I'm here.
And they legit gave her an undefeated streak from match 1.
Right.
And that lasted all the way until
a billion
this
years.
last WrestleMania. Right?
A billion trillion years. It's very interesting. I'm sad because I know myself and my content consumption. Like, I don't think I'll ever really be able to make the time or the like headspace to consume it on a regular basis or like keep up with it. But I definitely want to make it a thing where I watch more, at least individual matches.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And I mean, you can't watch all of the wrestling all of the time. Each event is like 3 hours, and that's, there's only so many hours in a day and a week or whatever. But it's a great thing to check in on and look in on, especially because things like Sendai Girls, even things like Stardom to a certain point right now, you could talk about the booking in Stardom, but like they don't have a lot of really strong storylines. Well, they have factions, but they don't really have long-standing stories.
Which one has the dancing?
Because Stardom has the dancing. Yeah.
I'm into the group dancing, obviously. But the thing that I know less about Sendai Girls, so I might be speaking out of turn. But the thing that is appealing...
Well, we're naming 2 of those now, but there's also 15 other Joshi companies that exist that are still running right now as well. Yeah.
I think the appeal for somebody like me with Stardom is that they bring in a lot of Western women that I already know and that I already connect with. Like, I know that Havoc and Tessa did a run there, and Nicole did a run there.
Toni Storm's one of their main champions right now.
Right. So, like, there is that appeal in the same way that, like, New Japan has an appeal where it's, like, the New Japan people that you love, but it's also Cody and the Young Bucks and, Juice. He's the only other gaijin that I could think of in that moment. But you get that appeal, and it's almost like a gateway, because it's like, I know that person and I kind of know what they're about, so I can kind of infer, even though, I mean, I still don't know what anybody said in the 2 Joshi matches that I watched, but I like got it. Like, just from the physicality, like, they did a good job. Those 2 people tried to kill each other because they clearly hated each other. And those other 2 people tried to kill each other because it was like, I'm a better than you.
That's also kind of what I do, even past the language barrier. That's kind of what I do with indie wrestling here in the States or European stuff as well, of just, oh, a wrestler I like is on this show. So I know I can watch it and at least have one match on there and one person that I like. And if that's all I remember of that show, then I saw that. But if there are other people I like, or I like the production as a whole, then I start looking into more content from that promotion.
I think indie wrestling specifically, but WWE too, it's hard for me because prior to watching wrestling, I am a completist. And it's impossible to be a completist. But even when it's like watching a show, it's hard for me to be like, I'm going to watch a match from this show. I feel like there's something in me that like feels like I have to watch the whole show to get the whole experience.
You don't think you're going to get the full context of what's going on.
Which is something that I'm working at. It's something that I've clearly broken with comic books because like I've not read every single X-Men, though I have read every single issue of Astonishing X-Men. That was a thing I did one summer.
God.
That was the thing I did one summer. Up until it ended, but now it's back. But I was like, I did it. I read a whole. Oh, it's back. I mean, I still read it, so I'm fine. But like, that's something that you have to get over when you read comic books. Or I mean, you don't have to get over it, but it's like impossible not to. But I'm still approaching that with wrestling. Yeah. It's sometimes hard because, like, I know I'm never gonna watch every single pay-per-view there's ever been, but I do feel like I need to watch the whole show for some reason. Yeah. Or something like Progress, because, like, I feel like there is such a through line, and it does seem consumable, even though, like, I don't have enough time to really catch up. But it seems like I could if I, like, really tried.
Because you tried to start.
No, I mean, I'm in, like, chapter 5.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have started and I do enjoy it, but like there's a big difference between being in chapter 5 and it being in like chapter 80 or whatever they're in now. Like
absolutely.
That's 75 chapters.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount of chapters.
And you don't like all of that content isn't necessarily relevant.
Right.
But you still feel the urge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm trying to get over, and I think maybe watching Joshi wrestling and watching it good matches here and there, like picking up a random Stardom or a random Sendai Girls, or what's that company? I know it's DDT.
Tokyo Joshi Pro is the Joshi company that works with DDT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like those matches, because like
Ice Ribbon's another really good one to look into.
Ice Ribbon?
Yeah.
Do they do dances with ribbons?
No.
Made of ice?
No.
That's too bad. They should look into it. I think it would really broaden their reach.
All right, well, we'll get you in touch with their marketing.
Can I do your marketing? Yeah, so that's my experience and my thought process about that. And I wanted to talk about more about that because I don't care about WWE.
Yeah, I'm fine spending all of the time on that. I mean, we could talk about
we'll talk about it all.
A few
anyways,
WWE matches here and there. Yeah.
So I didn't watch NXT. Did you watch it?
Yeah, but it was forever ago, and I watched a bunch of bad wrestling after that.
But there is one thing that we need to talk about, and thankfully it was super gifable. Bianca.
Yes.
That is amazing and incredible, and I'm so happy that she's finally getting a push. Like we talked last week how they were doing the like mini promo packages. The one that I couldn't remember was Kyrie because I spelled it weird.
That makes sense.
I went back and I was like, that's Kyrie. That's not how you spell that. But that was incredible. Like it just made me so excited for her future in NXT, but also her future on the main roster. It made me excited to see her wrestle somebody like Charlotte or somebody like Naomi, like these two wrestlers who are often put over as very strong and athletic and, you know, flexible and all this stuff. And it's like, I want to see Bianca, the EST and all of that go up against the Queen and Naomi and see what happens. I think that is exciting to me.
I think Bianca's going to be one who makes the jump a little earlier than people expect her to the main roster.
I could see that. Though I think that she definitely deserves to like have the spotlight on her, especially because they're in like a weird, like, totes believable for Bianca to take it off of Shayna. Like, yeah, that's believable to me.
After the way they sold her last week, absolutely.
The two people that are believable for me to take it off of Shayna are Bianca and Nikki, because Nikki is an X Factor. She's fucking crazy. And we've seen her go toe-to-toe with Asuka and almost beat Asuka.
And I think also because her squad just left.
Squad?
And so, squad. And
so, like, where the fuck are they?
They had another promo package on
which they cut out of the,
SmackDown.
like, replay that I watched.
Are you serious?
I know that they had a package because Corey mentioned it on commentary, and I was like, oh.
That's gonna piss me off, and this might lead into another rant, because that was actually a really well-made promo package.
I'll have to go watch it.
And like really artfully done and kind of old school.
Was it better or worse than the Bludgeon Brothers promo package?
Better.
No, I'm obviously it was better. The Bludgeon Brothers were like weirdos playing with toys and in like not a fun Zack Ryder way.
Yeah, but even with that, it's not what's made to look like shitty cell phone video that starts with a font that took somebody 2 minutes to make.
Sidebar, you know what pissed me off about the fonts this week? First of all, they weren't consistent. Barely any of them had the fonts. Like, if you're going to do the fonts, do the fonts. If you're not, you're not. I don't care. I'm used to the cell phone videos now, so I don't care. But so they gave Asuka was like the only one that had a font, even though
during her promo, she was
in her like little video, which is like, okay, this feels racist because nobody else had lettering this time. But like, I guess you have enough of a precedent to do it. But also, like, she was very clear. There's no way that you could not hear what she was saying. Whatever. But like, if we're gonna go silly and you're gonna kind of make this racist choice, you have to just put a bunch of question marks when she starts speaking in Japanese. That would have been funny, all in on it. Right? Yeah. Like if she was like, we're highlighting these words that we can fully understand, and we've not done this for anybody else, and then she just screams in Japanese, and it's just like, the tech booth doesn't know, because that's more of like the tech booth is shitty, unless like Asuka is like a joke. That made me mad. I was like, if you're going to do it and be racist, like, make a good joke at least.
And if you're not
that racism is funny, but I'm just saying.
And if you're not going to lean into that, then you translate the Japanese as well, and you do some outreach to try to be a worldwide company.
Do
my thing
something.
with the fonts and my thing with the cell phone videos is that I watch different wrestling promotions for different reasons. You expect WWE to be the most
production,
well produced, well put together,
it's not,
most
and
theatrical
it has never
federation, and that looks like a local car commercial font.
It looks like AEW. AEW does cell phone videos, which works for them because they're an indie company.
And then you go and you see the stuff that like Progress puts out on YouTube, and it's not as well shot. It's not in like HD, but it sells a story so much better than those crappy cell phone videos. You mean to tell me you're this multi-million-dollar company and you can't put a camera crew out somewhere so it doesn't look like someone has to make their own promo videos?
It doesn't. The cell phone videos don't bother me in that way because of the age that we live in and the social media aspect of it. Like, I get that. But I think it works, this like behind the scenes type thing works better, like what they do in NXT, where they do the like walking up to the performance center videos or the like hallway press conference videos. Those are low budget, but they're more effective, I think, than the just standing there videos. I do think that I don't like in general when they do promos on the videos, but the like Money in the Bank ones, I think work a little bit more because like everybody is like desperate for a moment, and it almost seems like an application, I guess, to be in Money in the Bank. But I absolutely get where you're coming from. It's just they're not consistent with it either.
Absolutely
like you
not.
have some packages that are really well produced, and you have a weirdo and a really hot guy standing in a broom closet.
Not that was a very specific example of something that actually happened. You're right. Maybe it is the inconsistency, because when they come out to the ring, they have these gorgeous graphics and these gorgeous nameplates for themselves. But for these promo videos, they have bland fonts with gross colors.
Right.
So it just seems really jarring to me.
I think they're trying to do the like big font thing that's like very popular on YouTube right now, but like they're just like they're not 18-year-olds who are good at the internet. They're like weird 40-year-olds who are bad at the internet.
Who read
right? Like,
who read some marketing report that said this would be a good idea, and so that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Hire those 18-year-olds. They'll probably do a better job for you. Like, that's why they have millions of followers on YouTube.
You could probably pay them a little less too.
Yeah, because they're like 12. They don't need money.
Of course.
Those dum-dums. Before we get too far into stuff, I did want to talk about Impact because I'm still preaching the word.
Hell yes.
Preach on the Impact. So it starts with Eli Drake coming out and calling everyone a dummy. Obviously. Everyone is a dummy. I just want everybody to know who didn't know me before this podcast. Eli Drake stole that from me. I have been calling people dummies for years.
Also, I think you were probably telling people they were fired before you knew it's something Vince McMahon did.
That is also true.
Yeah.
Though I guess I grew up on it, but I just tell people that they're fired if they annoy me.
Yep.
I do that much less now that I don't direct as much. But when I was, well, I believe my catchphrase were, "That's fine, get the fuck off my stage," and I don't know, you're fired.
You're fired.
And then people would just go sit down until I was done. I said it in a nice way. That's great. Get the fuck off my stage. Anyways, that's part of the reason I love him. That's part of the reason I gravitated to him is when he started doing the dummy thing. But I mean, I still just love it. I'm just pop for it every time when he's like, "Dummy." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. I mean, yeah.
It's like me.
It's like me. Penta came out and interrupted him and was like, excuse me, I actually have the belt. I don't care if you have this briefcase. I have the belt. And then Austin Aries was also like, but this is a real belt? Anybody? Grand Championship? Real belt? No? Nobody? Okay. There was a backstage interview with Kiera Hogan that Tessa interrupted and was like, you know what? That should be your last pay-per-view match because the Knockouts division has a woman like me now. And Kiera immediately was like, well, you're better at sitting and talking about wrestling. I'm good at wrestling, so you do what you do best, and I'll do what I do best. But then, of course, when Kiera and Taya were wrestling, great match. You know, Taya is great. Kiera is great. It ended a little weird for maybe great's not good. It was good because those people are good. It ended a little weird because Taya kind of got like thrown out of the match because Tessa came in and it was about Tessa and Kira. Taya had her like head stomped on the stairs and then like rolled away, which is like believable. Like her head got stomped on the stairs. Like it's believable that she would not partake in whatever Tessa and Kira are doing.
Absolutely. But that's only believable if Taya like is concussed, because if Taya's not concussed, then it's like, Taya's gonna try and
like in any other storyline.
Absolutely.
But this was to put Tessa and to build a feud for Tessa and Kira, which worked really well. Tessa came out in like black leggings, like leather leggings, and like a little black leather crop top, and then like a little black crop vest, and was like, oh, she didn't even come out of her wrestling gear. It was like, I'm in this badass biker chick thing, and then they just start beating the shit out of each other, which was great. And I was like, you know what? I'm here for this feud.
Absolutely.
Because you made Tessa look really strong because she came out and fought and won and like laid out Kira, but also Kira's newish to the Knockouts division, but she's been holding her own and kicking ass, and a feud between her and Tessa, even if she does lose, will make her look really strong.
Especially with how much momentum Tessa is coming in with.
Will make her look like she's on fire. Get it? Because she's the girl on fire. Do you get it?
Do you get it?
Grado's back.
Grado is back.
I'm so excited. And he does DDP yoga. That man saved my life. I can't do a Scottish accent. But that was funny. And his backstage segment with Austin Aries, I was like, I didn't know that I needed a feud between Austin Aries and Grado, but I do.
It's almost a feud that I don't even need to see like played out in the
I don't need a
ring
match
at all. I just want to see them have a back and forth every week on Impact.
Where Grado thinks it's a joke and Austin Aries is like, no.
Yeah.
Because Grado tried to give him jelly beans and Austin Aries was like, eat a banana. And I was like, this is the feud I need.
But jelly-flavored,
banana-flavored
jelly beans.
Vegan.
Ah, that's
gelatin.
Right. They probably have some insect or cow parts in there or something.
I think they have like a horse butt in them. Isn't that what gelatin is?
Yeah. Hooves.
Oh, it's not from the butt?
It's not from the butt is another awesome title for the episode.
All about the booties today. There was a weird match between OVE and the team of Falaba and KM. It was weird, but also kind of fun. There was a moment where OVE was like laid out, and then Falaba, who was a big guy, literally just like rolled over them, and then KM did the same thing. And KM's a big guy.
Yeah.
And OVE sold it really well, and it was like a funny comedy moment. But then OVE rolled up Falaba, and it's like very unbelievable that you could roll up Falaba.
Unless they're both doing it.
And they weren't.
Yeah.
But their KM and Falaba are like a team, maybe?
Yeah, because they made up.
Kind of working? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to end in a terrible angle, but
or end in nothing.
As of right now, it's fine.
Sure.
There was another X on somebody, so I guess suicide's coming. But who's in the suicide suit? It's not TJP. Oh no, but TJP was the man. I know it's not the Manta Ray, but I want to say Manta Ray.
Oh, what
Manic.
was it? Manic. There it is. Yeah.
The Manic Manta Ray.
Yeah.
TJP.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Perkins, that's so much better than your gimmick right now. Go back to being the Manic Manta Ray. So, yeah, it can't be TJ Perkins and it can't be Christopher Daniels, who it was in the past as well.
Yeah, it's just going to be somebody.
It's going to be somebody.
Which is, like, weird. Like, we all know it's all different people.
Right. So, yeah.
Also, like, there is, I mean, I know people say suicide dive and stuff, but, like, it is not, like, a word that's fun.
I was just going to say, I was really hoping that was gone forever, because it's uncomfortable to have a wrestler named suicide, especially with all of the growing health concerns in professional wrestling, and people have actually gotten hurt and died in the ring. It's always seemed a little bit disrespectful to me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. But he'll be there.
He'll be there.
Moose had a backstage interview where he was like, I've never won a championship, but this is my year. I'm Mr. Impact. It's a name I gave myself. He did not say that part. Jimmy Jacobs came in and was like, Moose, baby, I love this look.
Oh, Jimmy.
And Moose was like, what do you want from me? And Jimmy's like, I just want you to meet my monster. So we're going to get Moose versus Monster, which is not, I really like Moose. I don't like Congo Kong, but I do love Jimmy Jacobs. It's a thing that will happen that, you know what? I didn't think that I would like the Jimmy Jacobs Congo Kong Abyss angle, and I loved it.
Because Jimmy Jacobs can get anything over.
Yeah. Because Jimmy Jacobs. Period. This man purse. Everything which he also wears in real life.
Yes.
That is a real thing.
Yeah, because you guys were behind him for the Fozzy concert for a bit.
And he was not in costume other than, like, he just dresses like that
His
normal.
person
but
costume.
He didn't have, a lot of eyeliner on. He, like...
A lot, but he still had a little.
Was clearly trying to, like, blend in a little.
Of course.
But, like, still had his purse.
Yeah.
And
gotta have your purse.
A friend with, like, a tiny chihuahua at a Fozzy concert. I don't know.
All of that makes total sense. If you want to transition from that and jump off into some New Japan news, we can talk about that.
Yeah, I have a little bit more to talk about, but we can just tie it all in. Go ahead.
Well, because Jericho did jump Naito after their match at Dontaku.
And then he couldn't get that fucking mask off.
Right, and he had the bushy eyeliner and lipstick
and the lipstick. On. That was the best part, because I really only saw the bit where Jericho was struggling with the mask.
Okay.
Because Avi, but he took it off and I was like, oh, bushy lipstick. Okay, this worked for me. Yeah. I was like, this 30 seconds, I got kind of the whole angle.
And it was, there's an extended video that New Japan put out where, like, after that, Jericho storms through the back locker room, like, insanely yelling at Naito, Naito, do you hear me? You motherfucker, you piece of shit. And, like, throwing shit, and then, like, keeps yelling at Naito, who is still in the ring, bloodied, all the way into, like, a cab outside.
That's really funny.
And, like, yelling like an old, insane person in this eyeliner and this lipstick out of this cab. Naito, you piece of shit. This is what you get. I'm the best Intercontinental Champion. So I think Jericho's just going to be an insane Canadian heavy metal uncle in New Japan. And I'm for it.
I mean, we say it all the time, but, like, I genuinely mean this. Chris Jericho is the greatest of all time. That motherfucker is a great wrestler, a good person, good on the mic, good with, like, any fucking angle they give him. He is incredible.
And he lives it. Like, that's the person he's always wanted to be. Like, I have that Jericho DVD set that WWE put out with the documentary on him. He's always just wanted to be a full-on rock star professional wrestler, and you gotta kind of give it to him for achieving all of those things.
But he also, like, loves his family and, like, puts his kid on his podcast and, like, clearly is all in on all of that. Like, he's just the best.
Yes. Aside from that, another thing that happened at Dontaku that kind of ties into Impact, and it's going to be really interesting what they do coming out, is after Will Ospreay's match, which I can talk a lot about as well, Will won, but Will Ospreay is still, like, the main Will Ospreay storyline is still Will Ospreay beats the hell out of Will Ospreay and he might die in the ring and all of that. But after his match,
Will Ospreay beats the
hell out of Will Ospreay. Like, Will Ospreay's had this neck injury and he's still wrestling with it, and he's injured more and more. Will
Ospreay is hurting himself because he's wrestling. Okay, I was like, is this a Chelsea Green situation?
No, but kind of. That match he had with Kushida was great. That angle and that booking kind of lessened it for me. I think if you have a guy that's that injured and he's in the ring with someone like Kushida should just beat him. But after that happened, Tama Tonga came out and started talking mad shit. Oh my God,
he's so hot. I'm sorry. Can we have a thirst corner for Tama Tonga?
No, this is going to go into a further thirst corner. Ooh. So I don't know if you've heard this, but
thirsty.
Also, I realize I'm kind of low-key growing Tama's beard right now.
You absolutely are.
With the gray kind of on the sides and everything.
Actually.
Yeah. I noticed that during this segment, actually, because as he's talking shit to Will Ospreay, which everyone's like, why is Tama Tonga out here, clearly a heavyweight wrestler, out here talking shit to Will Ospreay, saying, oh, you're doing a really great job beating these lightweights, what? And
what?
From behind him, you see some immensely ripped, well put together person in the Bone Soldier mask, which they talked about coming back, coming out. And then Tama, in a very Dom-like manner, walks over to this person in the Bone Soldier mask in the leather jacket and takes off his mask. And it's Taiji Ishimori, who's the new Bone Soldier.
Oh, okay, that makes so much more sense, because I saw somebody tweeting about Ishimori, and I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense, because he's in Impact.
Right, but he's also now a freelancer who is Bone Soldier in New Japan, and he's in the upcoming Best of the Super Juniors tournament.
He's used in Impact a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but he is a for real freelance. He can go back and forth.
That's what I've read. I don't know how they're going to deal with it yet. I'm really, really hoping he can still do Impact.
Does he have the blonde hair still?
Yes.
I hate it.
I know, but he's also a very yummy individual.
A really good wrestler too.
And a very, very good wrestler.
His match with Matt Sydal was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't win. It's just one of those things where, like, I even wrote, like, Matt won, but Ishimori looked really good because, like, it's one of those things where it's like, it really could go any way, any minute.
Absolutely.
And he shows up and works hard every time he's there.
So he's going to be a heavy favorite in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Because he's the new Bull Soldier and he just came in and like called out the champ Will Ospreay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I also just like Tama Tonga.
Yeah, they need to do something with Tama. That's another New Japan booking decision that I'm kind of because
does he not have his?
They just got the never open weight trios belts taken off of them by the Bucks and Marty.
Okay, but they being Tama,
Tongaloa, and Bad Luck Fale.
Tongaloa. Okay, that's his name there.
Yeah,
because he used to be in Impact, and it was a faction with Drew, Eli. And then I cannot remember his name.
Yeah.
On Impact.
After he was released from WWE for that brief time, yeah.
Which is just funny. I think about the factions. What was it? It was Stand Up or something? No, that was their catchphrase. It doesn't matter. It was a terrible faction, and it really only served Drew.
but most things do. So, you know.
I mean, praise. May we all serve Drew.
Yeah. So Ishimori's going to be wrestling in New Japan, at least during the next tour. So that'll be interesting to see.
That is really interesting.
He has such a heavy history in Japan. I'm really glad he's going to get more recognition there. If you want to dig into that, he's done some great work in Noah. He was Hideo Itami's old tag partner.
I know. That's how he came into Impact because they have or had
that relationship with Noah.
Specifically.
And Eddie was their champion for a bit.
Right. Yeah. Back to Impact. Speaking of like cross promotion stuff, so they showed a match from a different promotion, which they've done in the past, which hasn't really worked for me. This one worked for me a little bit more. So it was Cage, who there was a whole promo package, like putting over Cage being this like unstoppable Wolverine or whatever. But then it was him in a match in Australia. It was the full match. They're starting to do the full matches. Originally, when they started showing matches from other places, they would just show like weird clips, which sucked. Like, it's like if you're going to show me the match, just show me the fucking match. So this was a whole match, but it was also in Australia where I feel like less people know about Australia wrestling and Australian characters. So it was actually kind of exciting. Like, oh, I've never seen any of these people before. Yeah, it's a match. It's a 4-way match against Cage, and Cage they're obviously not going to show a match where Cage loses. So I know what's going to happen, but it was actually really interesting and it was fun to watch. And I usually fast forward against those matches and I did not for this one.
Because it's a promotion that was kind of getting the shine from Impact.
Right.
There were other wrestlers in that match who got
Cage
eyes on them
was
as well.
out of the ring for a while and there were like good chunks of time where it was just some of the Australian wrestlers getting good airtime, showing what they can do. That had nothing to do with Cage. And that was nice and interesting. And there was one guy with weird hair that I liked.
Do you remember any names or anything?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. I'm the worst.
Fine. We'll do research of that afterwards.
Not a real journalist.
No, you're not even a real journalism.
Not a real journalism. Though was called a journalist in an Instagram comment once.
That's true.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal on the Insta.
So there's an X Division match with Lucha Libre rules. It was Drago, Aerostar, and Fantasma versus Xavier DJZ and Andrew Everett, who is back, I guess. Yep. I'm happy about that. I like Andrew Everett a lot. Also, he is dating Rosemary, so like that makes sense. She calls him Skywalker. It's dumb. I hate Star Wars, but like good for Rosemary, I guess.
Their Instagram stories together are super cute.
They're cute.
Yeah, they're real
Whatever.
cute. Yeah.
Star Wars is dumb. Happy May 4th.
Happy May 4th.
This match was a mess. It was a crazy flippy mess because you have lucha rules where somebody goes out, they're out, but it's the X Division, so everyone is going out because it's a crazy flippy mess. It was a mess, but it was fun, and it gave DJZ good airtime. And it's clear that they are rebuilding him up to take over the X Division.
Now that he's back.
The X Division?
the X division. Now that he's back, because he was kind of gone for a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
for a while, for like a year.
I think they're realizing what they had and have with him, and are kind of making him, because he's such a big personality and so good in the ring. Like, he's a perfect guy to put as one of your pillars in an X division, and I love it. I love that they're giving him more and more ring time.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Eddie Edwards was thrown into jail, and then Tommy Dreamer picked him up.
Oh my god, this insane storyline.
And bailed him out of jail. And then Tommy was like, "You're not the first person to bail out of jail, okay, Eddie? We got to get it together.
I do this every week."
All my extreme wrestlers go to jail a lot. I didn't expect this from you, Eddie. I honestly, and I mean, I watch Impact, and it took me a second to be like, where's he? Is that oh, he's in jail. He's in jail because of the hospital. Okay. Because it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere.
It's always kind of, now that this isn't like the 70s or 80s anymore, it's always kind of odd when they get actual real life law enforcement involved in professional wrestling storylines. Like, even when they bring in the cops on WWE, like, we all know they're security guards and indie wrestlers are wrestlers that they're training. So, like, to put a dude in jail or something like that, so stupid.
And then have Tommy Dreamer pick him up.
Right.
But also, I did bitch a little bit about bringing Scott Steiner, who wasn't there, and Tommy Dreamer back, but because it feels very old school TNA, we just bring back these famous people. But it seems like Tommy's there to, like, actually work and help storylines, and, like, is not taking up time in the ring necessarily. Like, I'm okay with Tommy doing this.
I'm okay with Tommy in a manager role. I'm okay with
Tommy Dreamer. It's fine. He has put in the work and the time and has consistently helped a lot of people and whatever.
Yep.
And also,
do they low-key?
His black friend is there. He needs to be there.
His black friend's there. He needs to be there. He has a dream.
Has a dream.
Do they low-key have an agreement with his promotion, House of Glory, as well, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because they called the match at
probably
the House of Glory match.
Or Tommy just, like, let them call
of course.
I don't know.
That was part of Tommy's deal to come on.
So the main event was Su Yung versus Rosemary. Before this match, Allie had a backstage segment with Rosemary where Allie was like, "I'm going to come out there for you. I'm going to be there for you." And Rosemary was like, "No, you can't. You don't understand. You can't do this. Promise me you can't do this. Like, you don't understand all my metaphysical shit. Like, you just can't do this, because if you go out, it's going to go bad. I just know that. You have to promise me." She promised her. She broke a promise. Don't trust the bunny is what I just have to say. So this match doesn't even, like, really start. Like, Rosemary and
because Rosemary's still injured.
They don't even. Well, I mean, I don't think she is still injured, because there's no way somebody who is injured can do this.
Okay, because I saw like news and stuff today that she's got an ACL injury.
Okay, well, she definitely did huge spots in this.
Oh no, I did see. I saw this match and I saw the one huge spot.
Not necessarily like a knee thing.
Also, way to make Sue look like a monster.
Well, yeah. So it doesn't even happen. Like, they don't even really make it to the ring. They start fighting on the ramp. Su Yung hits Rosemary with a panic switch on the ramp, on the floor, and then does it again later on the ramp. She summons her brides, which are, I don't know, I assume just like a bunch of indie girls.
Again, I'm always looking at their faces trying to see who they are.
When I was like, is that Kikyo? I don't think it is.
I keep looking for Kikyo in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So she summons all her bridesmaids, and it's obviously, they bring a casket. It's obvious that Su Yung is trying to put Rosemary, after she hits the Spanish switch on the floor outside of the ring, into the casket. But then Allie comes out and is protecting, quote unquote, her friend. And Rosemary's like, "No, what are you doing? You have to get out of here. What are you doing? You're making it wrong." So then Allie gets held back by all the bridesmaids. She has to watch as her friend, the demon, gets panic switched off the ramp into a bunch of tables and then gets dragged all the way back and thrown into a casket. So basically, Allie fucked up. And basically, they're putting Sue over hard. Yeah. Sue is still not coming across for me in...
You talked, in the earlier episode, you talked about that disconnect of seeing her on TV versus seeing her live.
Her character work is really good, and that's coming through for sure. And I think this segment match thing really differentiated the metaphysical, like, oogity boogity stuff. Like, their oogity boogity stuff is very different, obviously.
Yes.
Like, they might both have face pain, and they might both be scary, but like, I mean, Rosemary is full baby face. She's like glamour demon now. Like, she's got her hair curled and got like pretty eyeliner on.
It's very, very different from the days of Decay where she was out on a farm with Bram.
Oh.
Thankfully.
Oh, woof.
Yep, brought it back to there.
Flashbacks where she was like, I was a child and here's my dolly. That was weird. That was not fun.
Not fun.
That was not fun on so many different levels. But yeah, so.
I really like that Sue's character and Sue's mysticism feels different.
Yes, it's important.
It's important.
I was worried.
It's important that they feel different, but I like that it is vaguely Japanese cultural and not overtly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there is some creepiness there, but the way she moves and her brides or whatever, they're not overdone in a traditional style, a traditional Japanese horror style, but there is that influence there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point that I didn't think about. Also, it sets up for an interesting dynamic. Like, where did Rosemary go? Probably to heal her ACL. But like, also when if and when Rosemary comes back, like, who's she going to be mad at? Sue Young? Because she misted her and panic switched her and put her in a coffin? Or Allie? Because Allie fucked up.
Also, I don't know if she's going to actually like go away for a while because she has a faction in Rise who they have a partnership with.
Yeah. I mean, she did get thrown into a coffin.
Right. That usually gives someone some leeway to have some off TV time.
Yeah, that seems like I take a nappy nap.
I take nappy nap.
Not
in the groundy ground.
Okay.
Do you want to burn really quickly through WWD? Can we just go through like here? Because I have notes.
Let's just bang through Backlash and our feelings.
Yeah, so let's throw out our notes. Funny thing that happened with Backlash, because I was watching it while cooking dinner and drinking heavily, because that was the only way I was going to be able to cook through Backlash. I was watching it on my tablet, which is a Kindle Fire, which has Alexa on it. And the commentary in the Bliss Nia Jax match kept setting off the Alexa on the tablet it was playing on.
That's really funny.
And I kind of wish I would have asked it to put on a different pay-per-view.
Here are the highlights of that. Ruby versus Bayley was really good and furthered storyline stuff, especially because there was a pre-show segment where Bayley was like, I want to put this behind us, Sasha. I want you to come out and be in my corner. And Sasha was like, bitch, what? You just stood backstage while I got my ass beat, but now you want me in your corner? Suck my dick.
Huge dick.
She's got
a
huge dick. And she was like, Bayley, hug my dick.
Peen watch on Heidi.
No, Sasha said that to Bayley.
Oh, okay.
Because Bayley was like, Sasha, I want you to beat my corner. We're friends. And Sasha was like, no. Ruby kicked my ass last week and you sat back there and watched because you were angry.
Right.
I'm not helping you. I am so excited that Ruby has beaten Sasha and Bayley. That's exciting. And also, like, it's disappointing that she didn't get in the Money in the Bank qualifying match this round. There's like 1 million people in these matches, so who knows? I was surprised that she didn't get it. I did think it was going to be her, but also, like, hell yeah, fuck Ember in a ladder match.
And how good did Ember look in that match? Like, if
we're
just kind of just floating around.
So good.
I was watching it again with one of my partners, Justine, and Justine has seen Ember before, but especially in this match, she was like, she's amazing. And she looks
Nick and my
ripped.
dad are, like, both all in on Ember.
I think
my
Ember's...
dad was like, who's that Ember girl? I like her.
Ember's a really interesting scenario with me because there are a bunch of elements with her that, like, didn't work in NXT.
They don't. I think it's because they tried different things in NXT. So if you watch NXT, you saw the progression from, like, werewolf to warrior to, like, to no contacts to like what is happening. But on Raw, it's almost like a clean slate. It's like, this is my look, this is who I am, forget the werewolf.
But it's also like they took bits and pieces of the werewolf and the vampire and all of that and the contacts and the entrance. And it, like, in NXT, there was this focus on, but it has to be a thing. She has to be a werewolf. She has to be
because NXT is so gimmicky that it's like, if you start with a gimmick and you drop a gimmick, people are like, what are you doing?
But they threw her on Raw with that entrance.
And they have been
and that look. And they've been letting her wrestle, and it all works. All works on the main roster. So good.
So good. It was a highlight of Raw, for sure. I didn't think Raw and SmackDown were terrible this week, especially after Backlash, but, like, that match was solid.
That match was really
The Bayley-Ruby match was solid, and the Sasha-Ember-Bayley match was great. The qualifying matches overall for Money in the Bank have been really good.
Yeah. And I'm glad we get that after Backlash because
it's like I like that they barely addressed Backlash and they were like, let's go to Money in the Bank. I honestly, You know what I think? To be honest, I think that you should have the Royal Rumble and then no pay-per-views and then Money in the Bank. I feel like they should have 0 pay-per-views other than the big ones.
You need to give yourself time to build up storylines.
Right? Like if you're going to have 5 big ones that you're like, these are the big ones. And you don't need the pay-per-view money anymore.
No, throw a big house show.
Right? Like I don't
You're
know
gonna get ticket
why
sales
we
from
have to
doing
have
that.
backlash. Like why can't it be like Royal Rumble to WrestleMania to Money in the Bank to SummerSlam to Survivor Series to Royal Rumble? Like, well, I mean, throw TLC in there because TLC's fun. But, like, there's no reason why you can't do Night of Champions as a Monday and a Tuesday at SmackDown.
So the thing is, like...
Because you don't need that money anymore.
Coming up, those, like, some of these pay-per-views, they were replaced with really, really heavily themed pay-per-views, like Bash at the Beach, like Halloween Havoc, which are WCW pay-per-views,
right.
But also, like, King of the Ring, which is a tournament that culminated
right?
in a
Like,
pay-per-view.
why can't we...
Things like that are going to be so much stronger than anything that Backlash was.
That's a good point. If you're going to you should do your big 5 and then you should have like TLC and King of the Ring and like more themey stuff that are fun, but maybe don't have as much, because TLC is like all about grudge matches, right? And then King of the Ring, there's like a thing that you're fighting for. That's not a belt and not a storyline necessarily. Like that would be brilliant actually. But they won't listen to
They're
me.
not going to do that. And so we get the rest of Backlash.
Like we said before, the Intercontinental Championship match between Seth and Miz was incredible. I mean, we made a joke about it last week, but like Miz was great and really held his own. And also Miz in the qualifying match against
I was just going to say
Jeff was great. That roll-up was brilliant. I mean, it was a good match up until then, but like just this stage picture of like Miz, the like quote shitty like Hollywood wrestler, like playing possum and then like getting Jeff in a swanton roll up, like that was brilliant.
And it was
Dr. Unicorn Arms.
And it was Dr. Unicorn Arms, your old dad who used to be a raver who still likes to put on the shirt every now and again. It was after a really, really good back and forth match he had with Jeff Hardy. So like that win made Miz look smart, not cheap.
I agree. I also like that because I did think Miz was going to get the IC belt again, but he didn't. But I like that Seth is doing the open challenge because it makes his IC run different than Miz. Because Miz's IC run was like, I'm making this important. I'm the best, but he's also heel. So he also was being squirrely and had the Miz Raj and had Maurice and cheated a bunch and like whatever. He did elevate it because he's the Miz, but it wasn't like a fighting belt. And the United States Championship, it's on Jeff, and that's fun, but an open challenge doesn't feel the same as when Seth, a young, viable top guy.
You can throw random talents in the ring with Rollins. Like, I'm pretty sure when they do it next week, it's going to be one of the UK guys.
Oh, that would make sense,
in the ring with Rollins. And, like, that can be 2 considerably younger talents, whereas with Jeff Hardy and the US belt, he's going to be feuding with guys like Orton.
Yeah.
He's going to be feuding with guys like Shelton. He's going to be feuding with WWE mainstay guys.
With those 2 belts, it makes sense to have one of them a feud belt and one of them an open challenge belt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the ICN Seth makes sense. Though I thought it was a weird choice to have Mojo. You have this backstage segment with Zack Ryder in his hometown, Long Island IC. Zack Ryder's amazing. Oh my God. He asked for this one match. You don't even address it. You have a moment with Jinder. You do a fist pound with Kurt Angle, which I guess was funny, but you still didn't answer the question. And then Mojo comes out. Why wouldn't Zach come out?
Also, maybe they were building up to like put Mojo over as a heel, so that's why they were making people
watch this on fast forward because like I'm not spending time that I don't have on Mojo Rally.
Dislike everything about Mojo Rally.
Sorry.
And
I could
not
get
in a
behind
way.
him when he was with Zach, and I could get behind him when he was like a face, but I cannot with him as a heel because like I didn't like you enough as a face, so I'm not gonna like you as a heel.
Yeah, and I don't think he can function in the ring as a heel well enough to tell a story.
Turd.
Yeah, he's a
turd.
Well-shaped turd.
The Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. This match was a fucking mess.
We talked about my tablet issues.
Okay.
These 2 have been in the ring with each other so much that there's no excuse to have that lack of chemistry and storytelling in the ring, in my opinion. I don't understand why none of that worked.
Agreed. The bullying package obviously was stupid and very upsetting that it continued to on Raw. Like, we needed to lay this to bed.
Why was she doing another fucking Alexa Bliss shaming moment?
Nia needed to come out and lay her out.
That needed to be a squash match.
And that was a Charlotte-style match where Charlotte is getting her ass kicked and is selling and then comes back and has the rally and, like, win. That's fine. That is effective, especially considering the bully angle, the dynamic between Alexa and Nia, frankly, the size and power differential, and the speech Nia gave afterwards. That needed to be a destruction of Alexa Bliss, and Nia barely won it.
Because of the angle and the size difference, you're never going to be able to sell Nia Jax as an underdog, just like you're never going to be able to sell Roman Reigns as an underdog. But they're still trying to do it with these characters. But, you know, you're taking these big, powerful performers who do big, powerful moves.
You can't be a star speech after a match like that.
No, you can't.
If it rang hollow, the crowd was booing her.
Because
that's bad.
Because that's never been her strength. Her strength has never been her in a promo.
Nia can have a good promo when Nia is being, like, flippant and a badass. And you can be flippant as a heel. Like, when she was like, I don't care what Alexa says. She's dumb. She was still being a babyface because Alexa is a heel.
Yeah.
But that, like, this is for all the people who were bullied. It almost read like they were making fun of bullying initiatives and bullying campaigns. And I'm not saying that Nia was insincere. I do think she believed everything she said and she tried her best. But after, she could have said, she could have given the best promo in the history of promos. And after that match, it would have rang false.
There's no reason that once she finally got Alexa one-on-one in the ring that she shouldn't have just blasted through her.
Yeah, it was
dumb.
Upsetting, to say the least.
I don't remember what was next. I was drinking.
Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. Who cares?
Who cares?
Cares?
What was next?
Randy Orton. We had a poll on Not Your Demographic. What is worse, Stella liking Dolph Ziggler or Erin liking Randy? And everyone said Randy. Some people voted Dolph. It's a hard decision.
That is Sophie's choice.
We made some bad decisions.
It's fine.
Okay.
Was next the Elias segment?
Yes.
Okay.
Which was, I was like, how did this work? Is it because this pay-per-view has kind of sucked? But up until this point, I guess there's only two. There was a 50-50. There was 2 good matches and 2 bad matches. So, like, it was really up in the air, like, what was going to be bad. But this was so fun. You have Elias being Elias. But then you have No Way Jose and Titus and Rusev Day. And it was
New Day.
And New Day.
And then
Bobby. Bobby Roode.
Bobby Rump Shakin' Rude. This was throwing WWE superstars at the fan to see what stuck. It was insanity.
All worked though.
Oddly, yes.
I think it worked because I think it worked because Elias's reactions and
in order for any of that to work, especially because really, if you're looking at it, Elias was the only heel standing there during all of this. Like, that shows how well Elias works a crowd.
Well, that's not true. He wasn't the only heel because Rusev is a heel.
Yeah, but is he still though?
Yeah, because he just beat Daniel Bryan.
But didn't cheat to win.
Yeah, but still, like,
I know, but like, he's just the
also,
Rusev Day
Aiden
thing
helped
is really...
Rusev win.
That's
so,
true.
Like, sorry, Lana, your plan is terrible.
Oh, I don't think they're doing anything with that storyline anymore.
I think they realized that they were like, no, we shouldn't do this.
Also, like, yeah, there's no good end to that unless you want Lana to be a heel and put Rusev over as a face. Like, I think they dropped that for a reason.
But then you just have, like, controlling nagging wife, which is, like, a trope that nobody needs.
It doesn't do anything for anyone. So, yeah, I think that storyline's definitely gone.
It was fun. And then having the Elias backstage, or the Elias Rude match on Monday, where they, like, tried to recreate that, like, neck moment, and, like, that all worked. That was, like, a weird, successful through line from a Monday to a pay-per-view to a Monday.
Also, if knowing his history and who he is, you would tell me that Bobby Roode would be in the WWE as like a really successful, sometimes goofy face, I would not have believed you.
I would have never believed you.
But he did it.
I would have never believed you.
Yeah.
But he did do it, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass in a terrible fucking match.
This did nothing for Big Cass.
And really nothing for Daniel. Like, good for Daniel for winning, but, like, Daniel wins over Cass clean, and then Cass throws a little bitch fit. The end. Cass looked like nuclear fallout and was terrible.
Yep.
There are many instances of one-sided matches this pay-per-view.
There are many instances of them not playing to their performer strength and actually, like, really, really shedding light on their weaknesses in this pay-per-view.
Because honestly, Alexa was doing a better job than Nia and was really carrying that match. Daniel was carrying the Cass match.
I don't think, but, like, we all kind of saw that coming.
I heard that Joe was carrying the Roman match. I did not watch it.
So Joe did carry the Roman match.
And I was like, I'm not going back to watch this.
Yeah. But the whole problem is Joe carried the Roman match. And Joe had gave some of the best faces to a boring chant ever, because Joe was looking to beat down Roman Reigns. He did hard strikes and he did the slams, and then he just kept putting him in chin locks and putting him in, you know, what people would call rest holds. But that works for Joe in this match for me, because he doesn't want Roman to move around. And so he's got him down in a chin lock, and the crowd chanting, boring, boring. And Joe makes this face like, oh, really? This is boring? I don't care. Harder. Because Joe's amazing.
I do want to watch it because I do love Joe, but I also just was like not in the mood this week. And I literally just fell asleep.
They put Roman Reigns up against potentially the most physically threatening bully character that they have right now, and it still didn't work.
Joe should have beat Brock, and Joe should have beat Roman.
That would have solved so many problems I have with the product right now.
Exciting that Finn won over Roman, though.
Yes.
I figured Sammy was going to lose, because Sammy and Kevin are on this, like, losing bad guy streak. But exciting that Finn's in it in the Money in the Bank. Roman doesn't need a Money in the Bank. What would people do? Burn a building down if he got Money in the Bank?
Absolutely, because no one else is leaving with that briefcase.
Unfortunately, we'll probably get a Roman gender angle, which sounds like death.
Yeah, that sounds like a 2-month bathroom break.
That sounds like death.
Okay, so that was that whole pay-per-view, and we never have to talk about it or think about it ever again.
We didn't talk about Charlotte versus Carmella.
Oh, that's right. Well, we did briefly at the beginning of the show.
Carmella's having a big celebration in England, which I'm very excited for.
Celebration.
And Charlotte is going to be in Money in the Bank because she defeated Peyton for the qualifying match, which was a really good match. And also the idea of Charlotte in a Money in the Bank match is exciting to me.
Yes. The type of performer that she is and her abilities, I'm sure are going to lend a lot to ladder matches. We'll see who else she's in the ring with, but I bet she's going to get some really good spots.
I know AJ and Shinsuke, their
that's right. We didn't even talk about that.
Dick punches, but why weren't they the main event? It was a title match.
Well, you know why.
I know, but like that's fucked up.
No, it's super fucked up. But also, I think like that
about Shinsuke because he forgot all of his English.
But like in a playful way and not in a CTE way. Also, I should say, I have a background in theater and stage combat. I've done some stunt work, some fight work. That double kick that they did is my favorite crotch shot.
I mean, it's my favorite because I get that gif forever.
And so I got to laugh out loud at that. AJ, yeah. And if it was the main event and there was a build-up and it was a double DQ like that,
I think it would have worked.
I think it would have worked a lot better than it did.
I agree.
Even.
I agree. There was also the Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley beating Kevin. God,
I forgot
Sammy.
so much about this fucking pay-per-view.
This match was fine. Whatever. Braun and Bobby were obviously going to win. Can we talk about Bobby Lashley?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing with Bobby Lashley right now.
Ass interview? Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Why bring up any of that stuff with his sister?
Why bring up any of it? Second of all, oh my God, are you guys making Bobby Lashley like a baby face? What a mistake.
Absolutely. I mean, again,
you don't need to make him a heel. I mean, you should because he's a great heel, but you can just make him a Braun Strowman-esque character where he's like a good guy, but he's destruction and he doesn't need to be nice to you because he's Bobby Lashley. You don't need to. Was this just like, I mean, this interview would work if I guess then we got intergender wrestling where Bobby Lashley got beat up by his sisters. I don't know. What the fuck was that?
So what we have here with our comments a couple minutes ago and this one right now is a tale of two Bobbies. Bobby Roode from Impact, Bobby Lashley from Impact. Roode is right now successfully because of his theme and because of his look and because of his abilities
and because
on the
he's
microphone.
fucking stepped the fuck up.
And because he stepped the fuck up.
Bobby Roode has worked his ass off.
Is a legit believable face character in the WWE right now. Lashley is not going to be able to do that. Especially because, like...
Lashley's a destroyer. He's walking Armageddon. He comes in, he destroys. That is Lashley. He can do it as a good guy. He can do it as a bad guy. He cannot be sitting there. And it wasn't even him being like, growing up with sisters was tough, but it made me tougher. It was just like, my sisters beat me up, but then I like stole their towel. It had like no moral. It was just like weird stories.
And
weird
the interview itself was staged weird because it was like a dark room and he was like cutting Renee off in a weird way.
Oh, it was so weird.
None of it worked.
Exactly 0% of it worked. Exactly 0% of it worked. But Braun is in the Money in the Bank match, which is weird. I don't actually love that. I love Braun Strowman, but I don't like that he's in the Money in the Bank match.
I don't think that type of match helps Braun at all, and I don't think it's going to help the other people
it doesn't help
in
the other
Money
people
in the
either
Bank
because
match
then it's like,
all.
Braun works in an elimination chamber match. It's not going to work in a Well, it might because Braun is great and surprises me all the time, but I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Right.
I would have preferred Kevin, but
because Kevin is amazing in ladder matches, has a history of being amazing in ladder matches.
And is just great at
everything.
The Revival won something, so that's nice.
The Revival were on TV, so that's nice.
So that's nice.
That's here. My first note from Raw in all caps. It says,
oh my god!
Oh look, it's the Revival,
and they won.
Yeah, we already talked about the shitty videos thing.
Bo and Axel were like, Miz, no. We're our own thing now.
We have to move on.
They have matching jackets now.
It hurts too much. We have to move on.
And then they got squashed.
Squished.
Sheamus ate a bunch of Lucky Charms, and then Cesaro found a bunch of pancakes in his bag, and then they punched a hole in Xavier Woods' mouth.
Which I hope they play into them trying to shut Xavier Woods up, but also I hope Xavier Woods is okay.
Yeah, he's got a hole in his tongue.
Those heal quickly. Also, he could probably just like get a cute piercing.
Cute piercing? Can you? Oh, there's already a hole. Just shove some metal in there.
I mean, that's my solution.
The Lucky Charms pancake bit was hilarious.
Absolutely. I mean, like we said this last show, everything that they're doing together, those two groups, is hilarious.
Wish that Sheamus or Cesaro was like, "Are you eating Bootios?" And then Sheamus should be like, "No, I mean Lucky Charms." That would have been funny.
Also, he was able to call them Lucky Charms, but was eating them out of a clear bag, which I thought was an odd choice. Like, if you're going to call them Lucky Charms, do you not like have a Kellogg's deal where you can have a Lucky Charms box, but you can say the name?
Yeah, but also it's funnier if he's eating them out of a bag.
Sure.
And then if he's eating them out of a box, Cesaro wouldn't be like, "What are you eating?"
Okay, true.
Duh.
Also, I like the idea of Sheamus getting power from Lucky Charms.
Yeah, he's Irish. That's what happens.
Right.
Speaking of Irish people, one other thing that we missed is that Becky had a match against Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose and Sonya were like, "Paige, you're not our mom. We can do whatever. We're still friends. Well, we're not going to be friends because you're not here." Bitch.
Also, I felt really bad for Paige, who was like doing her job as a GM coming out the beginning of the show. And one of the first things she says was, "Wasn't Backlash awesome?" And the crowd kind of goes, "Was it?"
And then she immediately was like, "Money in the Bank!
Yay, this thing over here."
I did like that Mandy had her own theme again. I thought that weird filter was very Attitude Era, but also works for Mandy.
Well, and it also worked because Corey was freaking out over it and shutting everyone up. It works. It works for Mandy.
And they actually had a really fun match. Becky's gotta win Money in the Bank, right?
This has got to be the story that they're leading up to, or else I don't know why they would put her on such a losing streak.
Yeah,
she's lost to Mandy Rose, right? Like
Becky is pre-Sammy turning heel.
Yeah.
He can, quote, take a loss until he can't take a loss. And she can take a loss until she can't take a loss. Sidebar, her hair looked great.
Her hair looked great. Interesting singlet, though.
Well, Becky is not well known for good fashion choices and gear choices.
That's true.
Becky has exactly one good gear. Over many, many years.
Yes.
So.
But random fire emoji singlet, not great.
Yeah, well. We all make choices.
We do. Or choices are made for us.
I have a feeling she made that choice.
Shade.
I have a feeling that's a Becky Lynch original. A Becky Lynch original. All right, I'm done with wrestling.
I'm done with wrestling.
I'm done.
Not forever, though. I still have one more week on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad for you.
No, it's good. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying digging this deep, time-wise and existentially into the WWE product. It's been a while since I've made myself care about it. Yeah.
I mean, there are things to care about.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm finding. There are good things that are happening. They're just also kind of mixed in with some overarching issues that have existed. Honestly, this Roman Reigns thing that everyone's freaking out about. Hey man, that's existed in WWE
forever.
In professional wrestling for forever.
That's part of the reason why when people would shit on Impact, I would be like, it's literally kind of, other than people the revolving door, it's kind of no different than WWE. Some stuff is really good and a lot of stuff is shitty. But that's 3 hours of WWE. So I don't know what we're complaining about.
Absolutely.
I am very excited for Total Divas and Bellas and Lucha Underground coming back though. That makes all the wrestling bearable.
Breaths of fresh air in the pro wrestling world.
There's a lot of good stuff, and I am really looking forward to Money in the Bank. I'm going to be there with my dad, which will be weird, but fun. Are you going to NXT TakeOver in Chicago with us?
I don't think I am. I'm going to try to hit the AAW show with you at the end of this month.
Oh, yes.
And then we started talking about All In, and I think that's going to happen as well.
I am going to the next two NXT TakeOvers, because I'm doing NXT TakeOver Chicago and NXT TakeOver Brooklyn.
I should look into going to the one in Chicago, because those TakeOver shows are crazy.
And they're so fun. But I'm bringing my dad. So we bought tickets for my dad to come here and then bought tickets for Money in the Bank and NXT TakeOver because it was his birthday, Christmas, but also just kind of a nice thing to do for my dad.
I think the TakeOver show is a great choice.
But it's going to be me, my dad, Nick, and then Aaron and Michael and Dave and Warwick and Warwick's brother. I feel like I have to give this is my dad. My dad is rough around the edges. He was in the military for a long time. Sometimes he says things. You just have to be huh.
Yeah, sit dad on the end with you, right?
Yeah. Dad will be at the end with me.
Yeah.
Here's an example of something that my dad has said, and I was I said something to him, and he was no, I didn't mean that way, but he was who are these iconic bitches? I love them. And I was Dad, you can't call people bitches. And he was no, but I like them. They're great. Right. And I was yeah, I know you didn't mean it like that, but you also can't say that.
Yeah, it's not great. That's not great.
You were really excited, but you can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
But he says equally offensive things about men and everybody else. He's just he was in the military for a long time and it's not a very progressive place. All in on the Iconics though.
Oh yeah, has his heart in the right place. Yeah, it's just verbiage that needs to be tweaked.
Yeah, but he'll be sitting next to me so I can be don't say that out loud. Be
also, don't talk to that weird guy next to you. Yeah, right. You shouldn't be friends.
Yeah. It'll be fun. Anyways, okay. You can find us on the internet. I'm at Stella_Cheeks.
I'm at Haberdasher9K, which will be continued to be spelled out in tweets.
You can also find us at Not Your Demo Pod on Twitter, which you should tell your friends to follow because we waited so long to start a Twitter podcast that I feel people think that our podcast isn't real because we only have 300 followers, but we are real. And we have more than 300 listeners. I promise we have more than 300 listeners.
Also, absolutely follow it for the retweets that are filtered through both Stella and Erin's account because Not Your Demo Pod kind of
it's a mess.
Skims the top goodness of your wrestling hot takes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a lot
good
of fun.
way of putting it.
Yeah.
You can also support us on patreon.com at patreon.com/notyourdemopod. I have a next round of merch getting sent in the mail for our new subscribers. So, hi. Oh, I just put up a Every Mania Ever for WrestleMania 4. When Erin gets back, we'll be back on the Every Mania Ever stuff. It'll be really fun.
Erin is coming back. I'm not forever.
No, but, I like this Joshi stuff. Maybe that will be forever.
Yeah, I can influence you from the outside.
Yeah, from the outside. Woo! You can email us at notyourdemopod@gmail.com. You can find us on iTunes where you should rate, review, and subscribe. You should tell your mom for Mother's Day that she should listen to our podcast. This Sunday is Mother's Day. Remember to tell your mom that you love her if you like her and you don't have a bad relationship. And if you do have a bad...
And she's still alive.
Yeah. I don't know. Mother's Day is weird.
Mother's Day is weird.
If it's a thing that you do it. If it's not, don't feel bad about it because life is complicated.
And do whatever you want that makes that okay.
Yeah. Wrestling.
Good evening from Stella's Budhole.
We got
Bortles.
2 words for you.
Primo.
Happy birthday to Birdie.
Birdie mode.
Birdie mode. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For top quality floors at rock bottom prices, homeowners and pros choose Floor & Decor.
They're incredible in the design center. I tell them what my vision is, and I'll come out of there with a real plan.
The design services are free.
The Pro Desk is fabulous. If they save me time, they save me money.
They're going to help you find your products. They're going to help you get in and out of here quickly.
These guys are experts.
I'm a general contractor, and this is my store.
Floor & Decor makes my job incredibly easy.
Floor & Decor. For a store near you, visit flooranddecor.com.